They can see and hear you.
No, you didn't. You did not. I was counting in, Parker, and I was gonna be like, it's so nice doing highlight heroes because nobody trolls me in the count in, and then you do this. You betray me.
I'm sorry. It was too good. I'm so sorry.
That was so valid. Oh my god.
I felt bad that nobody was like screaming numbers at you. It felt unfair and unfamiliar.
It's a masterpiece. Hey, everybody, welcome in.
Hey guys.
So, guys, we're here at the Welcome In with Highlight Heroes with the amazing Rmorganslade.
Hello, hello, hi everybody, hello.
So we're going to get into some questions with you shortly, Morgan. But before we do that, the most important thing is people need to know where to find you and your content, which is fantastic.
Well, I don't need to, but I mean, if they're so inclined.
You have to do it.
They need to.
That's okay. Okay, sure. Well, I'm on Twitter at Rmorganslade, and that's the same handle for YouTube, where you can find some nerdy music, sea shanties, and nerdcore raps, and other weird things. And you can find a couple of things that I might have wrote on the DMs Guild as well, if you search for my name.
That's right, because you're on Spotify, DMs Guild, Twitter a lot, right? Those are your like big spaces.
Those are like the main spaces, yeah.
And you're just at Rmorganslade there, yeah?
Yep, that's me.
Get out there, folks. Give them a follow. There's some very cool subclasses, bardic subclasses. We're all bard fans in this chat right now.
Yes, we are.
So, okay, we're going to do a few quick announcements, and then we're going to get into the real interview, and we'll show people what we're painting and all that jazz. But, yeah, Parker, what we got?
Hi, I'm here with your schedule. So you guys can catch our weekly campaigns. This week we have Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, Off the Rails, and then Set Sails with Conundrum Company on Saturday at 6 p.m. Sorry, 6 p.m. Eastern. I know that. It's my show. I'm in there. I do that. Yeah, we're exploring a new undefined world, and I'm very excited. And then Sunday we have Cosplay Ground, which I'm very excited. Captain Krail will be our DM for that one, so look forward to that.
That's a cool cast that we've got going on there.
It is a really good cast, and there's a lot of new people on it, and I'm really, really excited to see what happens.
Woo!
So.
Much hype, much hype. Of course, none of this amazing programming could be brought to you without our sponsors, the first of whom is Skull Splitter Dice.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not as excitable as Sean or Adam.
This is just me at 800 for some feral reason today. Guys, Skull Splitter Dice, they sponsor our shows. They make amazing dice products. If you go check out those products, highly recommend them. And then they also sponsor a giveaway that you can get in on during our regularly run campaigns during the breaks. That's very cool. So we really appreciate Skull Splitter. I use a lot of their dice myself. Go take a look. They got these cool grab bags. Of course, our second sponsor is the gooeyest of cube companies, Gooey Cube. They make a whole D&D 5e homebrew world ready to go for you for game masters to use on their tabletops. It's beautifully packaged, beautifully assembled with tons of detail. We highly recommend you go take a look at their product page. They completed their Kickstarter, blew it out of the water for a whole second campaign guide. It is a massive world that is very well done. We highly recommend it. Of course, the community event is going on, Parker. When is this?
I'll unmute. Hello. Our community event right now is both casts from our weekly campaigns getting together to play games in character. So you can come watch Off the Rails and Conundrum Company in character, non-canonical, play things like Jackbox and Among Us and probably other ridiculous things that we'll get into. But yeah, we're over halfway there. So let's do it.
Oh, we're close. Yes. Of course, a huge shout out to our campaign members at Town of Mythalidor for helping us get our wiki up and running. It's very good. We highly recommend you take a look at it. It tells you a lot about the shows. Sloan just did a fantastic job recapping for OTR. It's really, really solid. Highly recommend it. And of course, the most important thing, just really quick, we want to ask you guys to do is before you spend money on subs, on the shop, or any of those things, please go consider clicking on the donate button in our About Us section to go to this month's charity to make a donation. This month, we'd like you to we were asking folks to focus on the Coalition for the Homeless. The Coalition for the Homeless is the nation's oldest advocacy and direct service organization helping homeless individuals. They state that affordable housing, sufficient food, and a chance to work for a living wage is a fundamental right of anybody in any kind of civilized society. Since their inception in 1981, the Coalition has worked through litigation, public education, and direct services to ensure that these goals are realized. Again, please click on that donate button. Consider making a donation in our name, in your name, in a friend's name, in a family member's name, in Grass's name. I don't know. Just make a donation before spending money on us, because that's really what we want to see y'all do. And with that, we'll get into the show proper.
Yay!
That means
That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah,
it's really.
that's awesome.
This is your first time here. Welcome to the deal. This is the deal.
I know, this is cool.
Yeah.
So everybody knows. This is the first time I get to meet both Parker and Josh in real digital life. But I've been aware of the two of you thanks to TikTok for a very long time.
Right back at you, my guy.
Oh no. Immediate concern.
Josh, you're the one who got me onto TikTok in the first place.
What?
If you remember.
This story.
Yeah, you tweeted me like probably 2 years ago, and just very politely asked if In the Undertow could make its way musically onto TikTok. And that was before like it was easy to do that.
Yeah.
So I had to learn how to use TikTok, download my own video, put it up on TikTok in 2 parts, and then you were able to siphon that and use it as music for your TikTok.
So thank you for going through the nightmare process that was TikTok audios 2 years ago, because
It's still bad.
it's miserable.
Still not good.
You're amazing, and thank you for doing it. I do remember this now. I was like, please, this is so good. Can we have it on TikTok, please?
Can we have it, please?
It was frankly my pleasure.
Oh, you're a delight, man. It's such a good. All of your work is fantastic, and particularly as critters, right? We really appreciate the content you make.
That's very sweet. I appreciate it very much.
Oh, man. Okay, so we're going to talk about what we're painting. Here, I'll show you. I'm working on grung. I've got a collection of 3 grung.
Tiny.
They're wee baby grungs. Blue-themed is this one, just like all of us, in honor of the Blue Man crew here. Parker, what do you got?
I'm painting a blue dragon.
Yeah.
To no one's surprise. So I started it last time, and I'm going to paint more. I mean, I literally don't have a problem at all.
God.
I just paint blue dragons a lot.
You kicked that dragon's ass the other day.
Yeah, we got to fight a
company.
blue dragon, and I was like, hell, fuck yeah. I mean, yeah, I kicked its ass from behind a wall. It was super epic. It was really good. It was really nice that synaptic static is 120 feet. I was like, I'll be back here.
That was the whole party, pretty much.
I'll support you from over here.
They're like, dragon? Nah.
No. I was just like, no. I put Armor of Agathis on it even though I wasn't close. Like, it was...
Just in case.
I was like, hello?
Can't go wrong with temporary hit points. Okay, Morgan, what are you working on? What's your project for today for us?
Okay, so I'm not painting anything. But I decided that I wanted to try to make like a second supplement solo release on the DM's Guild. And what I want to do is make like a collection of magic items that are kind of like weird and situationally confusingly interesting. As like I like making stuff that is so niche it's either take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's I'd rather not like please everyone or middle ground and just be like, here's a weird thing. If you like this, it's for you. And just kind of like leave it at that. So I'm trying to like think up quirky different ways of considering magic items.
Okay.
So today, what I'm going to try to see if I can like crack is the idea of having magic items that require attunement. So you attune to it, but then you give it to someone else. And the attunement's yours.
Ooh.
But they get the benefit of the item, and then there's some kind of like secondary benefit to the fact that you're spending the attunement slot.
Generosity boon.
Love this idea. This is incredibly good.
Yeah.
Okay, sure, if you say so.
This is so good. I love this.
Josh got excited immediately, and I went, none of us have attunement slots open, but I'm curious now.
Oh, hey, let's see when they post. We'll see if they manifest into the campaign a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if I can work on that. But
Oh my god. Well, we'll see how far you get. Maybe we can get a little sneak peek into what you come up with at the end. We'll see what happens. Okay.
We'll see.
Ooh, I'm excited. I love how creative people get on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're going to ask you some questions. And, you know, the first question doesn't really pertain to what you're doing, but have you painted? You've shared with us. Have you done a little mini painting? What was that like?
I have when I was little, and I only did it because my dad used to love to do it, and so I gave it a shot. But the minutia parts, like trying to paint an iris, or a claw or something, there's something about that just gets. It feels like literally frustrating in my body. so it's not my cup of tea to do like heavy detail work on a mini, and I haven't done it in a very long time. But I very much appreciate people who can sit down and like find zen in that. You know, like that's
Josh
something
finds
that
it relaxing, and it always confuses me.
Yeah,
a
like
little bit.
I don't get it, but I appreciate it.
Always in a better mood after painting a mini. That's valid though. It is very like there's a lot of focus required. And so I get it being taxing.
And then we made it a interview show.
Which makes it really difficult. We're
like, hey.
We see your complicated hobby and raise you asking questions during it.
That's right.
Some Will Friedle style shit right there. All right.
Yep.
I think you're up next, Parker.
I am. So my question, I am very curious about, how did you get into D&D?
Ooh, okay, sure. Well, when I was in my very early teens, I discovered that my dad had like a full bookshelf of old D&D books. They weren't old back then, but they're old now.
Valid.
Apparently, my dad used to play with like my uncles and aunts and stuff, but there was never like an active D&D game when I was around. And so I would read them like books, just cover to cover. Like I'd read a monster manual, like cover to cover, and kind of just like think about what it would be like to be in this dungeon that I'm reading through.
That's such a cool origin story, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, and then finally, like I asked my dad, I was like, "Hey, can we play a game?" And he taught me the old school what D&D really is, with a couple of like theater of the mind murder dungeons.
Nice.
And I learned very quickly that you do a lot of work and build a character and then it dies. and so I put that on the shelf for a while, and didn't really consider that D&D could be a thing that I would enjoy like very much. Like I still used to like make characters, but I would never risk them in an imagination space that
would murder them.
I was like,
put them in a murder room.
Yeah, I liked like making characters and then thinking about what they would like do or how they'd handle situations or monsters that I was reading about. But then I really honestly like skipped on through until Critical Role started.
Mm.
And I know that's the origin story for a lot of people, but I watched that and I was a fan of it, and I didn't think like it would go any farther than that. And then I started thinking like, oh, wait a minute, there are a lot more people still playing this game than I even realized. And like wrote a one shot and got my sister and my cousins to play one summer at the cottage, and got bit by the bug again.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, oh, I could write this stuff. I could create this stuff. I could totally play this game. Yeah. What do we? I'm like so many like actor creative types who just need a dang outlet, right? So,
Yep.
And it's the perfect little spot to play a little make believe.
I really like the message that sends regarding like you just kind of sat down and wrote a one shot and ran it after like years of not really getting to play, right? Like yeah, I was just like, I don't know, like I even had a couple of the books. Like I had Saltmarsh on the bookshelf, and
I was just like, well, I'll make my own.
I was like, I got this.
That's what Josh did after 5 chapters too.
Like, yeah, bye. That's awesome, man. I really like that. And I really like the, like, I can't stress enough that, like, a lot of people are like, I don't know, I'm scared to do it. And I'm like, yeah, but also, you got this. You got this, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like, I'm playing in a Humblewood campaign right now with a bunch of friends, and it's so fun, and I'll get into it as much as you guys want me to. But
yes.
I have the answer is yes, absolutely, yes. Full front to back, all the backstories.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I play a ranger right now, and his name is Vane, and he's like,
yes, I would like the entire story now.
Yeah.
Ranger fans.
Yeah, ranger fan. My love of rangers coming to a middle. I'm level 4 right now. It's like a low level campaign, and you do a lot of shooting, and then you do a lot more shooting.
Yep.
And I do use a lot of like character moments out of combat to like fulfill the piece of me that wants to create. Per se.
Gotcha.
At least at the moment, like at least as a low level ranger who just got his 2 spells. But it's been a lot of fun, but the reason I brought it up at all was because like I'm a trained actor from a kid. I did a lot of kid stuff back in Winnipeg when I was little. Moved here to Vancouver to try to get into it. Long story short, couldn't break in. Shifted to screenwriting, went for a year, and now I'm trying to do like writing and narrative design and find little pocket outlets for my acting stuff.
Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, but the little bow on this story is that like I'm a trained actor, and I have days where I drop my voice, I say I shoot the thing. I don't have to flavor every single moment of what I'm doing to enjoy the game per se. Like so like people who don't do that or are even scared to do that, please know that you don't need it. It's just one avenue of creative expression, right? So that's all good.
That's very, very true, and very good advice. So you've talked a little bit about some of your experience now playing. Tell us, what is your favorite class to play?
Okay, all right. So in recent memory, I've dabbled in a cleric. I've played a bard, sorcerer, wizard, paladin.
Oh wow!
And I'm playing a hunter right now, or a ranger. I keep wanting to call it a hunter. I don't know why.
Are you a WoW player?
I mean, back in the day, a little bit.
Interesting.
I didn't get too hard into it.
That's the only place I know Hunter from as a class, but I'm sure it's in like Final Fantasy and stuff. Anyway,
probably.
I digress.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
So I will say that my 4 multi-class, wizard, sorcerer, bard, pally, was the most fun I have ever had.
Really?
I had so much utility. This was because I was in a playtest for the Neverland campaign setting.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that Super Dylan put together, which is fantastic and amazing.
Yes.
And so
Lydia ran that on our channel.
Lydia did.
Yeah, that's right. So my character was a Dragonborn kid who was going to be a lost one. But I made him really young, like because Dragonborns like age a little faster than other races and stuff. He ostensibly he was like, I don't know, 6 or 7.
Gotcha.
Mentally, but he had like the capacity of like a 12 or 13-year-old.
Interesting.
And so he started as a bard, and then day 1 I found out that one of our other players was also a bard. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to change that as soon as I level. and I went to sorcerer. And then the whole conceit of Riddance is his name, was that he's just like this really emotional, really innocent, really open kid, and all of his spells are just kind of like the result of his reactions to what's going on around him. Like one time, we were all startled and by a bunch of monsters in a cave, and so Riddance woke up and was just so out of it that he startle barfed and spewed acid at one of the bad guys, and that was just how I presented his attack.
Yeah.
You know, like, what? And that was it. But being able to grab from sorcery points and then bardic inspiration and then wizard spells, just like literal cornucopia of how do I want to address this situation.
So what you're telling me is your favorite class is multi-class.
I'm a fan of mixing and matching, for sure. But I think the technical answer is that I really like spellcasters, because I feel like they just have versatility, and I for some reason, I crave that.
That's super valid. Oh, that's awesome.
Fair.
That's insane. I love that four dip.
I'm a huge fan of like the anti-min-max.
Fair.
Like, I mean, how wacky can I go and still play with the intent to help?
Yeah.
You know? like I'm not here to table flip the campaign. I'm just I do want to be, you know, I do like to make things difficult on myself, and I guess ancillary make things difficult on other people and see what happens.
That'll be fine.
It'll be okay.
That's amazing. That's very cool.
Yeah. So it was fun times.
So, do you have a favorite race to play? Is there one that you lean more towards?
I liked being the Dragonborn, and I would definitely play a Dragonborn again. I like that, you know, they get a little more like defense right off the hop, and having a breath weapon seems kind of like really cool. It's just like always there, ready for you. I like being able to just do that. That's super neat. But I played a cleric in a one-shot. It was a tiefling, and I was really excited to explore that, and I haven't really gotten the chance to. So I think like tiefling would be right up my alley for next go.
Very excited. That's a big one for you.
Yeah.
Did you so you kind of liked, you said you enjoy casters. Is there a class you want to try next? Like, is there something on your list that you haven't played yet?
Well, I haven't actually. I mean, on the flip, it's totally the flip side, right? But I haven't played a fighter before, and the reason that I go towards fighter as my next answer is literally because I enjoy spellcasters, and I want to see if I can make things difficult on myself and go, how can I make a fighter fun for me?
Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. So I like what I see as a challenge in that. But it's really just like I'm putting my own, extra handcuffs on myself for making a character that I don't necessarily think that I would enjoy, and then forcing myself to figure out, no, there's a way.
You can do this.
You know, you can do that. There's an avenue here. Like where can I be creative and in this like imposed restriction?
That is a fun way to do it. To be like, how would this work for me as a person?
Yeah.
I like that. It's a good way, like, to mix it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think the next question, I think you kind of answered. So tiefling is the race you want to try next, right?
I think that's where I'd go.
I really
think
love
it is.
tieflings.
Yeah.
They are cool.
And I love how the entire D&D community just went, they can be any color they want to be. That's fine.
Sure.
Like, I love them.
Yeah.
Let the tieflings be tieflings!
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
So then we've talked about your next class. We've talked about your favorite class. Is there one that is your least favorite class to play? Is there something you really haven't enjoyed?
I don't like rogues.
Interesting. Okay.
As a character that I would choose.
Oh yeah, that's Yeah.
You know, like they're super wonderful and useful and flavorful, and there's lots of creativity stuff that you can do with them. But for me personally, I just feel like so much is riding on dice rolls all the time to succeed at your stuff. It feels like a little more so than other classes where you're responsible for everybody sneaking, and then you're responsible for opening the doors, and then you're responsible for nobody dying traps, and then it's a lot of responsibility.
That's a
True.
valid answer, actually.
Yeah, I never really thought about it.
Super accurate. Like,
I've only played one rogue. I think maybe that's why.
the
Yeah.
stress.
I wouldn't mind playing a bard who the DM agrees to tell everyone is a rogue.
That would be fun.
I wouldn't mind that. And then everyone's counting on me for this stuff, and I'm just like blubbing it every single time and having to work my way through it. I would love that.
Just perfect. That's perfect. Just bluffing the whole thing.
Or
I
I
would
love
love
the
it.
idea of like, can you open this? Sure. And cast knock.
Yeah.
And you're just holding the tools and you're like, I did it.
I did it.
Did it. We've never gone that answer, I don't think, for Rogue, and I really enjoy it.
Nice. Nice.
I like
I
the
mean, I
stress,
think-
man.
Feels
Yeah, if
accurate.
it hasn't come out yet, I like to be left of center. I like to be a little unique.
Clearly, yeah.
Fair.
I'm getting that vibe. That
Okay, cool.
that tracks really well.
It's coming across, yeah.
You're like, I can't have nearly as much fun if I'm responsible for things. So I don't want that.
No, universal truth.
A mood.
So true. Oh my goodness. So let's see. Do you have a least favorite race that you've tried, or one that just doesn't interest you at all, that you looked at in the book and were like, nah, I'm good?
I mean, I don't like to play humans.
Fair.
I don't like to pick humans.
That's-
Have you come across the Elephant and Orc Had a Baby? That DM's Guild supplement?
No.
No. Adam Hancock and Kill-
404 error.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the other author. They wrote like a whole supplement that was designed to break down the idea of the bioessentialism of like humans get this and orcs get this and
Mm.
and turning it into, you come up with your whole your lineage, your parentage, and go like, well, you had a elf mother and an orc father, and you get to choose what aspects of upbringing you want to bring to the table for your character, and including a whole bunch of stuff about like situational upbringing and environment, nurture and nature, and that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's
It breaks
very
up-
interesting.
Yeah, it breaks up all those ideas of like an orc has to be this way or an elf has to be this way.
That's
Yeah, I mean that's expanding way farther than your question, but like
No.
I love trying to not be a human and pick something else.
Fair.
That's super valid. Is it my question? Is it my least
Oh,
favorite?
it is.
It is. My God. Okay, so you've made a lot of content, across a lot of spaces, and I think you've touched upon this a little bit already. But what's the like content creation story? Like, how did you become the guy who makes the Critical Role sea shanties, and like where's the impetus of that?
Oh dang, it's a wacky story. Like I was watching the show and struggling to figure out how to build a portfolio of music or writing or work, and just kind of like trying to get the train rolling, where if I make a little thing and put it out there and it's done, then I've made it, and then I can make something else, and then hopefully that starts to make a little bit of a cobblestone road towards something. And that I think it's episode 8 of the second campaign in Critical Role, when Mercia Ray kind of ribbed Laura into singing one of the songs that's so renowned about the Ruby of the Sea.
The best lay ever.
Yeah, it is the best play ever, and it's just such a wonderful improvised moment. And I watched that, and by the time the episode was over, I was like, oh, I know what that song is. I can write that song. and just decided that's what I was going to do. So I committed to writing it, wrote it, got a friend, Red Heartbreaker, to record some music for it and put it together, and just kind of like threw it up on the internet without a video. Like it was on YouTube, but it was just like a black screen with my name on it. There's nothing, just nothing. And you know, a couple critters were like, "Hey, this is kind of cool," including Jenny D.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And I hadn't heard of, I hadn't come across her before that moment. And I went down the rabbit hole of all of her work because she clicked on my video and went, "Hey, this is really cool." And honestly, seeing her do all this work and then learning about her journey and her story about content creation made me go, "Oh, I could do this if I try really hard."
Mm-hmm.
And then I did. I was like, okay, I'll try to make another song. I'll try to see if maybe I can write a little D&D thing or jump in a collab for a D&D thing. And I ended up, Adam Hancock, the guy that I mentioned earlier, just happened to be looking for newbies, people who had never written on the DM's Guild before but wanted to try, for an animal companions supplement, which is wonderful. It's so lovely. You just have like it was rule sets for animal companions. To use the companion rule set from D&D.
So good.
And I wrote a phase spider. That was my companion.
Amazing. An amazing
Yeah,
companion.
Yeah, I loved it. It was super fun. And I just kept taking those tiny little moments and being like, okay, I committed to this thing. I saw it through. I didn't disappoint anybody. Let's move forward.
Let's try it again.
Let's try it again. And then it kind of really came together in this particular sphere when I decided that I was going to write a sea shanty about Avantika, in the Undertow, and that I wanted to do a video for it, and that I wanted to see if I could try to get that to work. And I ended up writing the song in such a way that the only way that it would work is if I had other people help me, and that was kind of on purpose.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, okay, so let's try to write something that I can't pull off on my own, so that I have to learn how to talk to other people, and I have to pitch them an idea, and I have to see if, you know, it also helped kind of like test the waters and be like, is this a good idea? You know, if people want to come on board, then awesome. And because I had done that first song, when I pitched it to Ginny D, she was like, hey, I remember that. Sure, send me the thing. Let's see if it works. And of course, she killed it. She destroyed it. She's like, I attribute 97.8% of the reason why that works to the moment where Jester starts singing into the rest of the pirates. Like the reason the joke works is because she's so good and she's so enthusiastic about it.
She's prolific as a content creator too.
It was so great, yeah. And that ended up getting a retweet from Matthew Mercer, and it blew up in a day, and I panicked and I didn't know what to do about that. And but at that point, that's when I was like, this is possible. This is a thing that I could do if I keep committing to these small ideas and just keep trying to finish a thing. Yeah, so like I guess I've got like 6 or 7 songs out now, some of which are TTRPG sea shanties.
The best kind.
Everybody loves good sea shanty.
It's just so funny. And I missed the shanty wave completely on TikTok. I came in late on it, tried to throw some of my stuff up on there, but by the time that it had already crested, and I was like, let's just enjoy what other people are doing. Yeah. It's okay.
Don't worry, pirates get popular on TikTok every single summer.
Oh, good. Okay, I will.
Every single summer, the cosplayers all go, you know what sounds fun? Pirates. Every single time. I've been on there for 3 years, and every summer everyone's like, pirates again? And we're like, pirates again.
Let's do it.
Yeah, like Ren Fair starts kicking back up, and everybody's like, I could be a pirate. And we're like, yeah, you could. Let's go.
Jeez.
So every summer. Just look for pirates every summer. It happens.
I will plan for next year. Yeah, that's kind of my origin story for making content these days.
That's really good, man. And I appreciate, you know, I think my first TikTok was because of Jenny as well. Like, I remember seeing her make it. I was like, I'll throw it up there, you know, and I didn't have the same sort of interactions with people and things like that. But just getting that inspiration, I'm like, you know, seeing the content Parker made.
I'm so happy now.
Oh, it's Puppy. Puppy comes to say hello.
There's a
Hello.
dog.
Hi,
I'm sorry, Josh. I interrupted
No,
you.
you're
There's a
good.
dog.
Hello.
That is how we met. That's how I met a lot of my friends.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up anywhere in this sphere. I similarly was like, if I have to talk to people, then it'll work out. And I remember for like a year and a half, I was like decently okay popular on TikTok, and I was like, would somebody please just be my DM? I want to play D&D. Like, I moved out of my college town. Nobody I know plays. Like, somebody DM me, and then Josh did, and now he's stuck with me forever.
Forever.
So it's so funny how that all works out.
My
Okay, so
greatest
we are on
achievement is tricking Parker, Sean, Button, and Adam to play D&D with me.
forever. We are at our last question that's ours. So everybody that's in the audience, please be aware it's time for you to submit your questions. So please highlight them if you have the tweet tokens for it. If you don't, one of our mods will probably grab it and highlight it for us. And since Josh is still actively painting, I am going to be reading them this time.
Bud.
So,
wow.
yeah. So I will read your your but our last one is just, what's your biggest hobby outside of D&D and the TTRPG space?
Sure. I think I'm getting to a point where I can say that music isn't just a hobby, which is like long time coming. There's a lot of work I want to do to improve and stuff like that. But I think I'm getting to the point where I can cross the threshold and say it's not just a hobby anymore. But in terms of like fun stuff outside of D&D, I'm a huge video game fan. Always have been. I during quarantine, I was like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get a PS5, and thankfully I picked one up.
Congrats! Wow, that's an achievement.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's a silly idea. Like, you can't. There's no games for it. So it's like I just upgraded my PS4, I guess, basically. But
what do I do with this box?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a glutton for punishment, as I have proven during the course of this interview. So I'm a Dark Souls fan. I love trying to make those games like even more difficult. Picking choices and weapons and armor and stuff that just doesn't make any sense because it looks nice, or just seeing what oddball combinations would turn into, and it's usually a disaster. But that's where my fun is, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah,
I love that.
All right, Mythalidor asks, if you could cast Find Familiar in real life, what would your familiar be?
Okay. Well, I'll give two answers. I won't just give the easy answer and say this little dude right here.
Oh, baby.
Because this is a little baby boy.
Look at him.
Yeah, so cute.
Yeah.
Living the dream, bud.
I mean, a mini poodle familiar is my jam. Absolutely.
Honestly.
But I had to come up with a bunch of familiar ideas for Crow's Nest, which is the bard subclass that I wrote all by my lonesome. My first little thing.
Check it out.
Super cool. And I have to say that the idea of an axolotl familiar is just my favorite.
Oh.
Just having this little buddy just kind of like mosey around or hang out on my shoulder.
Just chilling.
Just chilling.
And
and like being okay wherever. I think super fun.
That works.
For me, is Crow's Nest a bard subclass that has to do with animals?
Ooh, okay. So quick pitch.
Yes.
The College of the Crow's Nest is a bard subclass that is like adventure sailor based, and the whole idea is you get a familiar, and you can choose from old ones or you can choose from the new ones I wrote, and the way that your bard uniquely advances as a Crow's Nest bard is that you choose a sought treasure, something that you really want to find, any kind of item that you agree with your DM has to agree that it's something that you can search for, and then there's a whole bunch of resources that help the DM seed it into the world that you're playing in. So at some point while you're, campaigning, it'll come up nearby somewhere, and you'll be able to hunt for it. And when you do, you have to figure out where it really belongs. Because I wanted to make a little statement on grave robbing.
Yeah.
that whole the whole looter thing aspect of D&D, and be like, well, just because you found it doesn't mean it's yours. So you find it, and then you return it to a loved one who lost it, or the grave it belonged to. And what happens is you get an ethereal version of that item to keep forever. And that item can be stored or retrieved from your familiar's pocket dimension. And every item that's ethereal that you own increases your stats a little bit and gives you more powers as you level up. And so the whole idea is it's the adventure aspect of players who want to find those things, wants to do the dungeon run. And then you get cool items because you do the nice thing and you put it back where it's supposed to be.
That's amazing. I love that.
Super, super, super cool.
Yeah.
Very flavorful, too.
Yeah.
JJ Cosplays asked, do you have any song in the works right now?
I do have a song in the works right now, but I'm not sure.
Say what it is.
I'm not sure if I'm ready to share it.
Okay.
I will admit, though, that that this piece of paper that I wasn't working on today.
Does that say what I think it says?
Yeah, it does.
What?
What does that say?
It says Conundrum Company, Happy Fun Time, Alternate Lyrics Extravaganza.
What? You legend!
Yeah, I couldn't quite get the ending right, so it's not quite there. But I was listening to it all day today, and I was like, oh, I could find lyrics for this. So it's lyrics kind of like spotlighting the characters that come up on the screen, and I used the wiki to try to get some lore in there.
My God!
I'm dying!
And I'm the Trummadarnist to finish it and send it to you guys.
You're amazing!
That would be so wonderful.
Oh my gosh!
Well,
You're the
there's
best.
the answer. That's the
In the
answer.
interest of full disclosure, yes, I am working on music.
Yeah.
I'm hyped to see what you come up with next, because it's
I'm
always
super
very good.
excited.
It's always very good.
I don't know if Captain Crail ever mentioned it, but he and his wonderful crew of viewers commissioned a little mini song for them and their sailor.
Yes.
Part of the
I
ship,
do know
part
about-
of the crew.
I loved
right.
that one.
Yep.
I loved
right.
it.
It's so good. It's
Played
so
it when
good.
he first got it. He played it in every. He was like, huh, 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 and I was like, yes, yeah.
Hell
I was
yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
Amazing
Oh,
guy.
so good. Oh,
Very
Okay.
fitting. He picked the right musician
He
for that
would.
too.
yeah.
Challenge accepted.
Sea shanty. Whoop.
There it is.
Let's see. The Auburn Alchemist. Hi, Kat. Has there been a character or moment in a game that has significantly impacted you in real life?
Ooh, I like this question.
It's a very
I like
good
this question. I like this question very much. So is that like a bleed question where I was like, oh, notice something kind of profound?
I think so.
Bleed in like the positive way though,
Like
not
in the- Yeah, but it kind of like in the introspection. Ooh.
Yeah.
When I was playing Neverland, and as Riddance, this stubborn, innocent little kid who just doesn't know how to react to things, so he's constantly asking people questions about how life works. There was a point in the campaign where see if I can remember this. It was we ended up having like a showdown against Pan, and we all over the course of the campaign found our fairies, and Super Dylan had made our fairies us.
Oh.
So like my fairy in the game was Morgan.
Oh.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's good, and it got a little trippy for a second, because in the middle of the fight, I had just like lost this item to Pan that I was trying to keep away from them, and what happened was it's my turn, and I have my fairy. You can kind of like pop it out of its special bottle, and you get like a pseudo wish kind of in like a emergency situation. So I did that, but I was still trying to figure out as a player what I wanted to do, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And the other players are excited, but I'm starting to like kind of waste time a little bit, like this starting to lull, and Super Dylan's like, you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out. And I went, Morgan, can I have a hug? So Riddance hugged Morgan, and Super Dylan was like, how many spell slots do you have? And I was like, I got nothing. She's like, you have 2 level 2s now. And it's just like the hug refreshed my spell slots, and they ended up coming in like super clutch.
That's so good.
But the moment where my character hugged myself, there was kind of like a little introspective self-esteem boost thing that happened, where I was like, I don't know, even kind of comforting my inner child just a little bit.
It's like, I accept you. Yourself accepted you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean that honestly. Like it was like the last episode. I was just like, oh, I need a minute.
I love those sessions where you're like, I do a think now. I'll be back.
I gotta take a minute.
Just give one moment.
Yeah.
Dankles asks.
Thank you for the question.
Yes, that was a really good question. I love that question. What is your favorite monster or creature in D&D, or most memorable video game series? We can do both.
Ooh. Okay,
but
so
first one.
Yeah.
Favorite monster or creature in D&D?
I love gelatinous cubes. I love the idea that you can't notice them until you're inside them. I think that's hilarious. You could just be like, step, what? Oh no.
What have I done?
I'm in danger. I love that. I wanted to challenge myself and come up with some weird like offshoots of D&D characters and see monsters and see if I could like make something worse. And you can. It's called a Tarantulas cube.
You're a monster.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you like, something about a gelatinous cube is kind of calming, even though it's moving towards you. It's a constant. You know, the things inside it might be jostling a little, but it's not. It's still Jello. Like it's still kind of, you know, cube.
Did you give Jello legs?
I gave Jello legs.
No.
Yeah, and yeah, and it's got sticky web, right? And so like it's like a swarm, and it's worse.
I need to get that stat block from you for no particular reason.
Like stop it! No. Adam will lick it.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he will.
I'm just saying. Does it have any poison effects? Oh wait, it doesn't matter. Does it have anything else other than poison effects? Adam will lick it. It's so true, though.
I mean, and the bristles that come off in your skin, you know, and the webbing that's while you're inside there, you know, and
that's kind of like I don't know if they have something like this in D&D, but like the big spiders that can attack you, right? The phase spider ones. I always think of how terrifying it would be if they were like wolf spiders, where they carry all their babies on their back, and if you kill the mom, all of the like it just ends up with swarms. I hate wolf spiders. I constantly think about that. Anyway, I digress. Most memorable video game series. Yeah, most memorable video game series.
Okay, so I'll give you a couple. I would probably say that the most memorable is Chrono Trigger. For sure. I was a kid who was a Genesis kid, and so I highly envied all the SNES kids. You know, I just wanted to play all the games, but because all my friends had SNES, I thought I was being intelligent by picking a Genesis. But it turned out the majority of games I wanted to play were on an SNES. But the Chrono's got red hair, and I was this little kid who was trying to learn to accept his red hair through like growing up and having like people who have red hair and people who don't have red hair, oh my god, like being a kid with red hair is so, it's not the worst, but it's not great all of the time. It's people who are like shouldn't be touching your head touch your head, and you get this weird attention. It's like it's not, I mean, maybe it's kind of teetering on the line of fetish attention, kind of like,
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like very objective about it, and I can't do anything about the envy that you're, as a 5-year-old. I can't fix that for you, 47-year-old lady. I can't do it.
Stop touching my hair.
Please stop pinching my cheek. Please stop touching my hair. Please. He had red hair, and I was like, I don't, it's being a kid and not getting into the unconscious of that. That's something I could point to and be like, yeah, there we go. I can do this. I can save the world with my red hair. That's pretty awesome now. I curled it today with the help of my wife, just for you.
Oh my god.
It looks
really
gorgeous.
Nice.
This volume doesn't happen every day, friend.
I've got like Simba vibes coming off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does have like a very lion. Like,
beautiful, amazing. Thank you for doing that for us.
Moment.
We're blessed. We've been spoiled through this entire Highlight Heroes.
My pleasure.
Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oliver and Alchemist asks, since you homebrew, do you prefer to start from a world problem and work backwards from how it came about, how to solve it, or do you build from a high-level view and get more detailed along the way?
Ooh, you know what? I'm absolutely like close-knit, small problem, and then I kind of let that expand, and then retro justify things along the way as it gets bigger. As like I don't enjoy personally making a big giant problem and the machinations of it generally, because I just anticipate so hard that it won't matter, or it'll be irrelevant. It could happen in the background and I could maybe try to lead people there, but I would much rather pull threads from this established base that already has so many characters and players invested in it, and jive off of their, they love this NPC. Oh, this NPC is bad news now. You love this tavern so much. Okay, here's an opportunity to buy it. Where you just keep expanding it and keep expanding that, and that way, so much more of the things that are created are relevant to what's going on, and they have a stake in it. Even if they leave it, there was a stake in it at the moment, and those things can kind of like spiral away as they see fit. But that's how I like to.
It's really meaningful when you do that. It's a super valid DM trick. That's very solid. I love it.
I find, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. From VDA Monster, what's your best advice for engaging a character player who shows disinterest in pretty much everything?
Ooh.
Like ignores NPCs, openly says they don't care.
Openly says they don't care?
Wow.
Do they want to be at the table? I mean, okay,
That's
so
let's...
Good question.
That's interesting. That sounds like a session 0 problem. Kind of. Like, people can kind of fall off and become interested in or disinterested in playing, just as a general thing. But if they're there and they want to play, and then they're not interested in what's being presented, it's very important and like a friendship building thing, depending on how, like, I assume that there's some level of knowing who this person is while you're playing with them at the table, especially for something that's going to like run for a couple of games at least, right? So you got to have that kind conversation, not the one where you're like, hey, I've been trying to make all this cool stuff as a DM and you've been sloughing it off and you got to do better. You can't do that, because that puts them on the defensive and you're not going to get anywhere, right? So you got to open that conversation about like, hey, I want you to have fun. I'm here to have fun, and I want you to have fun, and part of my fun comes from you having fun. So maybe I just don't know enough about your character's backstory. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I don't. Can we like try to flesh out a little bit about what you are wanting to pursue, both as a player and as your character? Because those two things can sometimes be different, right? And if you can approach that in like a super open way, anyone who's worth their time at your table will take that as a huge open door to be like, yeah, I've got these ideas, I've got these things, I got this stuff. That doesn't mean that they have to take over your DM experience, right? They're not taking over your story. They don't get to decide outcomes, right? Necessarily. But at least then you might be able to collaboratively come up with some story hooks and situations that they just are so excited to participate in. And then that also helps kind of remind them that part of their own fun is their responsibility. You know, like when you sit down at a table with somebody and you expect the DM to run everything and curate your fun. Oh, puppy time.
Hi, Flash.
Hi.
That's unfair. And once everyone at the table understands that everybody's fun is everyone's responsible for everybody else's fun. And there's so much fun to be had by enabling other people's fun. Like once that gets connected with somebody who's like, you know, avoiding your story beats or just displaying disinterest, and they don't have like the words or maybe they don't feel, you know, like there's an open safe door to be like, hey, you know, like this kind of stuff isn't my thing. Can we include something else? If they don't feel ready to do that, it's a huge, wonderful team building and friendship building experience as somebody who's in the DM chair to open that door and say like, I'm here to have fun with you. I'm here to create that fun. I want you to be able to cultivate your fun too. How do we do that?
It's such a valid answer, and it's communication, right? Like,
yeah,
it's so accurate. And once you've gone through all those hoops, if the player still isn't having fun, that's that table synergy thing, right? It's like, okay, maybe you're looking for something else now, but you have to go through those steps to make sure that you're not missing something. That's super valid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well said.
I hope that helps. Good luck, I hope.
They said thank you in chat, by the way. They very much appreciated it.
Of course.
So it is almost 8, so what we're going to do is we're going to do one more question, and then we will do our ending stuff. But JJ Cosplays asked, what spell would you want to have in real life?
Good question.
What one spell would you like in real life?
It's the question you always want to be asked, and then you have no idea what your answer is. It's like, cause I could answer this question 19 different times. But I will say Prestidigitation is the spell that I would choose because I can use it as many times as I want, and I don't enjoy cleaning, you know, on a particular basis. You know, I'm just gonna say that I admit it to the internet. I'm not a fan of cleaning. I know it has to be done, and I will do it when I have to. But if I could get a hand with that, that would be great.
A literal hand, pretty much.
A literal hand.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's a solid answer. I also appreciate you going for the cantrip as opposed for like the 9th level, 8th level spells. Like that's good. I like that.
The cantrip you'd get the most out of it because you also, with spells, you run into components. Like, nobody said the components didn't have to matter, so it's like, well, I'll take this, but I don't have, like, 250 gold, so what do I do?
You take Wish.
Like,
well, like, if you take Wish, and the thing you don't want to do is clean, Wish grants you Prestidigitation. Like, so, alright, yeah, that's super valid, yeah. Roundabout way of getting there. Do it the fast way. Just go straight to the spell. Oh my god. Wow, thank you, Morgan. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I've loved this excuse to get to know you in real digital life. This has been wonderful. Both you, Park and Josh. Thank you so much.
We're so excited to have you staying at the inn with us now.
Yeah.
That's good forecast for the future. So let's show what we've done, and then we'll do a few little announcements, and then we'll close out with telling everyone where they can find you, because that's the most important thing. Ending on that high note. I painted this grung. He's got little red spots that are cute. You can't see them because camera, but he looks good. We'll post pictures at some point, I'm sure. Boom.
Yeah.
Parker, what do you got?
I painted part of his body. This dragon's going to be painted for like 4 more shows.
He's a big one.
He's a big boy.
It's valid. And how did you do, Morgan?
We distract you.
You know what? We learned a valuable lesson today, and that lesson is that when I need to say words don't come out of my pen. It doesn't work that way, friends. And I'm thankful to both of you that I now know this.
We've come to, for science, we've done this.
Most of our show is everybody being like, "Wow, this was really hard to do anything while you asked me stuff."
Momo was trying to animate and was like, "Nah."
I didn't get it done. I was like, "Fair."
Valid.
Shout out to Momo Bryan. It's her birthday today, right?
Oh yes, it is.
Happy
birthday! Yes.
Happy birthday!
Woo! Woo! Happy birthday. Okay, few quick announcements. We couldn't do any of this without our amazing sponsors, partners, excuse me, words. The first of whom is Soundtail. They bring all that ambiance to our games. We love them. Morgan, you should check it out too. You'd like Soundtail. They're very cool. That link is in chat. Click on it. Take a look at the app. It's a bunch of really interactive, quick soundboard work for you to use in your games. Highly recommend it. They've been with us since the beginning, and we love them so gosh dang much. Of course, Arcane Anthems, who creates all those amazing intro songs. Another musician in the community. He makes our intro songs and makes a bunch of free D&D. Wow, Josh. Free D&D music that you can get on Patreon. I'm spiraling. It's really good. We love it so much. Parker, what do you got?
We're affiliated with Found Familiar Coffee. If you'd like to taste Initiative, you can use our coupon code in chat.
That's how you make an announcement, guys. That's how you do it. That right there. Well done, bravo. And of course,
I hope they know. I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. I hope that they know how primo advertising they're getting right now. That was perfect.
It's Parker doing this beautiful thing, and then me like butchering everything.
No, it's so good. At some point, we'll see. But you do all the hard things, and then I have like these little itty bitties. So at some point, we'll switch it, and you can have the schedule, and I'll do everything. Skull splitter dice.
Okay, here's a bit, and this is between us and the audience. You know how I do disembodied voice announcements sometimes?
It'll be me next time.
It should be you next time. Where it's just, hey, it's me, Josh, but it's Parker's voice.
Hey, I'll do my. Do you want me to do like my flight attendant Disney princess voice?
Yeah. Please. Yeah.
Oh, that's what we're doing.
Okay, that's done. That's on the books. Don't tell anybody, chat. Okay, secret. Yeah. A huge thank you, last but not least, to our mods who make our chat super safe, highlight these amazing questions. We love you guys. You're the best.
Thank you.
Much love.
Thank you very much.
And Morgan, where can the people find you?
Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm around if you want to just hang. No, please. No, I'm kidding. Don't find my house, please. You can find me on Twitter at Rmorganslade or Instagram if you'd like to see puppy pictures. Rmorganslade. Same thing for YouTube. I'm just gonna go ahead and shout it out. The Biscotto family motto is a song that I wrote that I love, that I'm very proud of, and no one has seen it yet. So if you're interested in a sea shanty, go to YouTube, check out the Biscotto family motto based on Dimension 20's Pirates of Leviathan campaign.
Ooh.
Biscotto family.
And
I'm about to put it in chat.
Oh, sure. Go nuts. I'm really proud of that one. I think it's really funny and jokey and bolsterous, and I'm proud of it.
Heck yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm a contributor on the DMs Guild, so you can find cool things that I've contributed to, and the College of the Crow's Nest for a wacky bard subclass that's lore heavy and requires a little bit of help from your DM, but there's a ton of resources in there to make it easy to have your own little mini side quest adventures while you're leveling up your bard.
Heck yes. Hell yes, my friends. So go take a look at that content. Thank you all for being here with us. I'm going to throw that link to that YouTube video in chat in a minute, but we're going to close out here. Stay with us because we're also going to do a raid. There's a few wonderful folks doing. I see Kobold Press up. Maybe we go over there. But thank you all, and thank you again, Morgan. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.